After 2 years of working through a global pandemic, a lot of employees are feeling incredibly burnt out. And that's causing a lot of us to make poor IT decisions. ZDNet's Danny Palmer is here with us to tell us about this. Danny, what are we doing wrong?
Well, as you just said, a lot of us have been working from home or remotely, due to the ongoing pandemic, which has been the case for the best part of 2 years now. I mean, there's various challenges related to that, and one of them is the burnout aspect, where some people are getting stressed out by working from home. It's good for some, it's not so good for others. And this is leading to people not paying as full attention to things in their work as they should. And one of the things that has been detailed in a report by Cybersecurity One Password is security isn't something that's being taken as seriously as possible. And people are taking shortcuts when it comes to doing things. I mean, that can be things which are as simple as reusing passwords or using simple passwords to secure their accounts. Because we all get told you must reset your password every 2 or 3 months or so. People are using simple passwords in those, the ones which could be easily guessed. And if attackers are able to guess those passwords, they can get into the network and able to carry out things like phishing attacks, malware campaigns, and all sorts of things. A little higher up the risk rate tree, as it were, is multi-factor authentication. A lot of people and employers aren't using this. We're told that it's one of the best ways to help secure your account. That alert that says, is this you that's logged into your account? Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't applying that because they see it as an additional burden, because it's just another thing that stops them from getting in the way of doing their job. And there's all sorts of other things which people could be using to take shortcuts with while working from home. I mean, a lot of organizations will supply collaboration tools to help employees share documents, files, folders, that sort of thing. In some cases, they might not, or in some cases, the employee might think, "I'm just going to send this via, my Gmail account, or use my own personal email to send these files." Which, if that personal email is compromised, that's an issue. One of the key aspects of this report notes that it's also cybersecurity employees which are suffering from this burnout. Arguably, they have been some of the most affected by the sudden rush to work from home. So if we look back to March 2020, a lot of organizations suddenly were told, staff, you're working from home. And IT departments and cybersecurity departments had to suddenly adjust to that. In many cases, security was put on the back shelf, as it were, in order to allow companies to carry on doing what they were doing. And there's been also the added difficulty of managing remote employees, which are you can't really keep an eye on as much as you could in the four walls of an office. So there's been more threats, different threats, and it's all been a challenge for cybersecurity personnel. In some cases, this has led to the cybersecurity staff being burned out as well. And if you think regular staff being burned out is bad, this happening to security staff can be much worse, because if they, for example, misconfigured a cloud system, for example, in a way that allowed an attacker to get in, that's not just one account the attacker can use, it's an entire system. And this report even suggests that 1 in 10 cybersecurity employees describe themselves as completely checked out or doing the minimum amount of work possible, which, with all the different threats flying around, is not a good thing for anyone, especially as this whole pandemic is still, unfortunately, ongoing. And this hybrid work situation is going to continue for some time. I mean, it's probably never going to go away. So the threats associated with remote working are going to remain, and security needs to keep up with that.
I don't think that there's a blanket solution for helping with burnout. So that's not the route we're going to go with this. But is there something that managers can be doing for their employees to help them understand the potential threat that poor cyber etiquette brings?
Like many things in this industry, it comes down to training and the human touch. I mean, we've all had to do those cybersecurity training modules, I'm sure, where you watch a video for a half hour, get your tick, and it's done. What this really needs, many experts say, is a more hands-on approach. I mean, you actually speak to employees and tell them why it is important to do these things. Using multi-factor authentication might be annoying, but it can really stop your account being hijacked, which can help the entire organization stay safe from attacks. And I suppose and many would argue as well that just allowing employees to actually, take the necessary time off when they can in order to recharge is useful, because I'm sure people are not going to be at their best when they've been worked for months on end with no break. So allowing people to take this time off, in order to recharge themselves is going to be a good thing as well. I mean, you might have some bosses argue that, oh, why do I have to give people days off in order to help them recharge in this way? They have their holidays. But a happy employee is more likely to be a secure employee at the end of the day. If someone is thinking about security as part of their job and not just a burden tacked onto it, it's going to help both themselves and the company as a whole, and hopefully help keep everyone safe from attacks.
There's so much to be said for a happy employee. More work gets done. Their quality of life is better. They're taking less days in and out because they're happy to be doing their job every day. And it looks like your company is going to be a little bit more secure. So something to keep an eye on if you are in leadership. Thank you so much for telling us this story, Danny. As always, we have Danny's article linked right below. Be sure to check it out. And thank you so much for watching. Be sure to stick with ZDNet for all things tech.